Well, it's officially do or die time. The Lakers are in a 3-1 deficit, have their back against the wall, and their season might be over with tonight if they can't pull out a victory. And well, we've talked about what's working against them, mainly themselves at this point, the combination of very poor fourth quarter execution, literally being the worst playoff team during the fourth quarter up until this point, even with Luka Doncic and LeBron, which is very shocking, a combination of bad turnovers, bad defense at times, poor scheme, and not even running plays during the fourth quarter, even during the second half at times, some bad coaching adjustments, and then finally, a lack of depth or maybe a lack of trust in their depth. And well, with that last part, they might be getting back a reinforcement if they choose to play him, that being Maxi Kleber, a name you might have not heard of in some time now, a guy that we have yet to see play in the Laker jersey, but he is listed as questionable in the injury report tonight. Not guaranteeing that he will return, but with this being their potential last game and his last opportunity to play this season, I wouldn't be shocked if he's active. Now, whether he actually plays and gets on the court tonight is another question entirely, but I am leaning toward him being active and, at the bare minimum, being available within their rotation. But with that in mind here, will they actually play him? Could he actually help them? And if they do choose to play him, what could Kleber offer them that their other options have not been able to? Both Jackson Hayes and then their different small ball lineup combinations. What could Kleber do differently for them that they have not been able to achieve up until this point? We'll talk about that, and then touch on the topic of potentially bringing back Dalton Knecht to the rotation, if that should be an option and something that should be talked about. So we'll talk about both that and the potential return of Maxi Kleber tonight. But to begin, I think we gotta start by talking about Maxi Kleber. I mean, after all, we heard nothing about him up until last night, nothing for 2 weeks anyway, dating back to April 15th, had an official confirmation from JJ Redick that Kleber would officially practice with their team and in a full capacity, leaning many to believe that he'd be back soon for their team, maybe even for game 1 of their first round playoff matchup, which eventually became the Timberwolves, and gave many hope that he would give them a different option at center, not only Jackson Hayes or different small ball lineup combinations, but then Maxi Kleber for more of a hybrid combination, a guy that can kind of fill a true 5 role for a team, offering some good screening ability, a good pick and roll threat, both a good pick and roll threat and a good pick and pop threat, a great 3-point shooter for a big, being a 35.4% career 3-point shooter, and not to mention spending about 8 years of that with Luka Doncic, so definitely some good chemistry between them. And then more of a small ball option, a guy that can switch on defense, offer some mobility on the court, and again, be more of that hybrid that they really didn't have up until this point. And then a further hint at it, or one that many thought was a hint at it, was the Lakers opting to elevate neither Christian Koloko nor Trey Jemison from their 2-way contract up to their 15-man roster and therefore make them playoff eligible. But unfortunately, that meant absolutely nothing in regard to Maxi Kleber. He was not ready for Game 1, Game 2, Game 3, or Game 4. But hopefully he is ready for Game 5 now, giving them a different option at center and again more of a hybrid option, which could definitely help them in some capacity if he's actually healthy and ready to go on the court. And that's definitely a fair question here. Is he actually ready to play more than 5 to 10 minutes? Is he well conditioned, and how much has he actually done up until this point? Has he done a lot of contact work, or is this simply them rushing him back and trying to get a different option in a do or die game? Definitely fair to wonder at this point, definitely fair to question that and how comfortable and confident he is on that broken foot, or rather recovered broken foot, how comfortable he is being a higher volume 3-point shooter, playing that pick and roll game or pick and pop game with a guy like Luka Doncic or LeBron James against a very physical team like the T-Wolves. Definitely a lot to question here with Maxi Kleber and a lot to question about if he could actually help them on the court. And well, if somebody like you or me is questioning that, then you already know that JJ Redick is definitely questioning that. I mean, following their Game 4 game in which he didn't play a single guy off their bench during the entire second half, the first time in NBA history that's ever been done, then it's definitely fair to wonder how he feels about Maxi Kleber, a guy that has yet to play for their team, a guy that hasn't played since about 2024 at this point. So would he actually trust him coming off their bench, trusting him in a do-or-die game like they're playing tonight, and actually trusting him to give them anything more than 2 to 3 minutes? I'm not sure he would. Obviously, he knows better than we do about Kleber's true health, what he's done with their team or what he's not done with their team up until this point, where he is at mentally, and simply how comfortable and confident he is in that recovered broken foot. Obviously, a lot plays into that too. But in regard to Redick's track record and playing role players or simply trusting them lately, I'd be leaning toward him not playing him tonight, even if he's active, and maybe to try dart throw with Maxi Kleber. Probably not, but I guess you could make an argument for the other side too, with neither Jackson Hayes or then their small ball options working that well against the T-Wolves. Maybe he'd throw a dart throw and try Maxi Kleber out for a little bit. I'm not opposed to it. Again, obviously, depending on how healthy he is and how much he has played with their team and how comfortable and confident he is in the court, then maybe I'd try it out, but I'm not completely optimistic on it. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'd love to see Maxi Kleber out there tonight and knock down 2, 3, 4 3-point shots, be the Lakers' X factor, and absolutely blow the T-Wolves away. That would be great. I wouldn't be opposed to it, and I'd love to see it, but I'm not sure it's very realistic. The guy's not played in months now, has virtually no chemistry with anyone on their team but Luka Doncic, might not even know their full playbook, who knows, so definitely a lot more to factor in here from a negative standpoint or more of a pessimistic standpoint than an optimistic one, and even from the standpoint of Redick playing him. I really wish he would have made it back sooner for them. I honestly think he could have made a difference, even against a big physical team like the T-Wolves, simply giving them a bit more size and then a floor spacing option at the 5. A guy that is 6'10", can kind of match up as a rim protector, give them a better option against a guy like Nas Reed or Julius Randle off the bench, and simply give them more versatility at the 5. I think he could have helped them out. If he was healthy, if he was more confident and had good chemistry on the court with their rotation players, yes, I think he could have helped them, but at this point it's much more of a risk and definitely not a sure bet, unfortunately. And with that being said here, if they don't go in the direction of Maxi Kleber, or if he is not even active tonight, could they turn to their bench unit for a different option and maybe get a spark? Could that be a guy like Dalton Knecht? Well, according to many Laker fans, and simply from what they want to see on the court tonight, many would like to see Dalton Knecht back in the rotation. No, he might not be a great defender. No, he might not be a sure bet. Yes, he is a rookie, but at the end of the day here, they're 4 games in and not much has worked for them, especially in regard to their bench unit, so why not try something different? That's primarily been the argument I've seen to play him. Try out something different, and maybe their best option to do that with would be Dalton Knecht. Yes, definitely a high risk, high reward kind of guy, but it's not like you have to play him more than 5 to 10 minutes. Simply throw him out there and see if he's hot. If he is, great, play him 10 more minutes and maybe get between 3 to 5 3-point shots from him if you're lucky. But if he's not hot and isn't helping them, then simply send him back down and don't play him anymore. Again, that's the argument I've seen. Don't necessarily agree with it or disagree with it. I definitely could argue with it one way or another. Maybe try him out, and that could be your X factor in Game 5 and keep your season alive for 1 or 2 more games, even potentially another playoff round, or maybe it could actually hurt them in that time frame too. And well, if you want my real opinion on it, no amount of Dalton Knecht or Maxi Kleber will help them if they don't clean up their execution during the 4th quarter. Yes, I mean Dalton Knecht or Kleber might help them a little bit here and there, but it won't be enough to ultimately win them the game if they don't play better during the 4th quarter. I talked about this during my last video, and for good reason too. They have been by far the worst 4th quarter team of any team during the postseason, being an average of -9 during the 4th quarter, having a net rating of about -40 during the 4th quarter, even worse than the Miami Heat, who just got swept and beat by 50 to be eliminated. So yeah, pretty good indication that they have not been good and definitely have to clean up their act during the 4th quarter. When all 3 of Luka Doncic, LeBron, and Austin are shooting at or below 33% from the field during the 4th quarter, on top of that averaging 5 points per game or below that, and then on top of that, their defense falling off during the 4th quarter, their shot making falling off during the 4th quarter, their 3-point shooting, and pretty much everything about their team and entire game plan, that's gotta come first before anything. Again, would love to see Maxi Kleber and or Dalton Knecht be back in the rotation and absolutely blow the brakes off the T-Wolves. That would be great to see and definitely could help them in some capacity, but it likely would not be enough to make up for what they have not done, that being executing during the 4th quarter, and doing the little things on the court that actually contribute to a big win during the postseason. So gotta clean that up before anything. But with all of that being said, what do you guys think? How do you feel about the potential return of Maxi Kleber, maybe the return of Dalton Knecht back to the rotation, how those two could help them, and how that would compare to actually cleaning up their act during the fourth quarter and doing the little things in the court? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. But I think that'll pretty much do it for this one, and if you enjoyed the video, then I'll greatly appreciate it if you dropped a like, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and hit that notification bell to never miss out when I upload a video. But as always, thank you for watching and have a great day or night.